Hello, my name is Lady Just. I have a question for you. If you had this old car and they gave you a quote of 200,000 to repair it, and the dealership told you that you can purchase a brand new version of the same model and with new features for just 170,000 Ghana cedis, would you repair the old car or purchase the brand new version of that same car? This is truth in politics. The NDC has made a lot of noise about this voters register. They've lodged protest after protest. They've gone on demonstrations after demonstrations, and now they are openly and shamelessly threatening war if they don't get their way. I just don't understand them. I want to show you why the NDC's vehement opposition to the new voters register doesn't make any sense. After I've given you the facts, you will come to the conclusion, as I have, that their stance is born out of nothing but obstructionism. In other words, the NDC opposes anything that is good for Ghana. They have opposed NHIS, school feeding, national reconciliation, free SHS, banking cleanup exercises, and virtually any good thing for Ghana. So today I'm not surprised that they are opposing the Electoral Commission EC for doing its job to compile a new voters register. But I will now prove to you not only why we need a new register, but how their own words and actions in the past are inconsistent with their shameful behavior today.
Lately, it has become fashionable for the largest opposition party to discredit the Electoral Commission. All kinds of accusations, including unprintable insults held at the person of the EC chair, have become normal. This is unacceptable. But for students of politics, we can see the strategy behind it. It is an old trick in the book. Vilify the referee and reduce the credibility of the referee in the eyes of the public when you can tell you are losing the match. This creates a platform where, when you lose, to discredit and contest the outcome of the match. And this is the underlying cause for all the whining that is taking place against the Electoral Commission at every step of the electoral process.
I normally don't want to comment on it because it's not my job. We have an independent electoral commission, and the electoral commissioners have security of office. Once they are elected, the president cannot remove them. I'm not supposed to interfere in the work of the electoral commission.
We have 19 political parties in Ghana, and out of the 19 political parties, 10 of them have looked at all the facts and have agreed with the MPP that the EC must compile a new voters register. Only 5 political parties agreed with the NDC that we should keep the old register, and 2 political parties say they will agree with whatever decision the EC makes on the matter. That means out of the 19 political parties, 13 are for a new voters register and only 6 are against the new voters register. Should we allow 6 political parties to have their way over 13 political parties? And here are the reasons why almost all political parties agreed to a new voters register. First, the old register is hopelessly bloated. Look at these numbers. Here in Africa, Kenya has captured 34.1% of her total population in their voters register. We also have Senegal, which captured 41.5%. Nigeria captured 41.7%, and Tanzania captured 42.5%. So why has Ghana managed to capture 56.2% of our total population in our voters register? Here's another proof that the voters register is heavily bloated. According to our population census, 44.8% of our population is under the age of 18, which is the age at which one can be registered to vote. That leaves 55.2% of the population at 18 years or older. 55.2%. And remember, the population census counts everyone living in Ghana, including foreigners, the sick, and those who don't care about politics to even bother to register to vote. And yet, even if you registered everyone, including foreigners, the sick, and those who don't register to vote, you still cannot possibly register 56.2% of the population in the voters' register. Now look at these arguments that the NDC is peddling against the compiling of a new voters register. They say it is a waste of money that we should refurbish the old biometric voters machine, BVMs. But the fact is that refurbishing the old BVMs will cost 173,076,650 Ghana cedis more than purchasing a brand new one. Next, the NDC says the old register and BVMs work just fine. But the truth is that manual verification occurred 13%. This means when there's a question about one's identity, the verification can be abused and the wrong persons can vote. The new BVMs will automatically deny the wrong person from voting, and it can also deny one person from voting more than once. Then they claim the new BVMs will suppress votes in their strongholds. But the fact is that a machine doesn't know NDC from MPP. Human beings can, and that's why the EC wants to take the human element from the verification system. The NDC claims that the EC is hiding something. But the fact is that the EC has engaged IPAC, Eminent Committee, media, CSOs, Council of State, and others on the need for a new voters register. So it is not hiding anything. EC has been very transparent than it's ever been on this issue. Then they claim that compiling a new voters register in an election year will turn Ghana upside down. The fact is that we have compiled new voters register in Ghana 3 times. On 2 of those occasions, in 1995 and 2012, the NDC was in power. Only once, in 2004, was the MPP in power. Furthermore, 2004 and 2012 were also election years, and compiling a new voters register did not turn Ghana upside down. Let's show you how really bad the old voters register is. Look at the following slides. When you use population projections for 2020 from Ghana Statistical Services and the current voters register, here's what you find. Greater Accra has managed to capture 63.8% of residents here on the voters register. We know that Ghana's population under the voting age is 44.8%. And mind you, Accra has more foreigners than any other region in the country. And these foreigners are counted as part of our population, although they are not allowed to vote. So 100% minus 44.8% should give you 55.2%. Take out another 5% for foreigners, and that brings the eligible voters in Greater Accra to 47.2%. Now, if you register everyone, how can you still capture 63.8% of the Greater Accra population in the register? Again, now let's look at this slide. Western region has managed to capture 56.8% of its population in the register, while Northern region has captured 48.9%. We know that the demographic differences exist between the regions, but there's no way the disparity in voter rolls as a percentage to population should be this wide. In the same Western region, Takwa and Swayam has actually performed the magical trick of registering more people than the entire population there. They've registered 102.9% of the people living in that constituency. You may say that it's some kind of mistake, but what explains the disparity in Bia East and West constituencies combining to register 72.1% of their population, while within the same region, Dwaboso has registered 41.5% of its population. Now look at Volta and Oti regions. Look at Ketu South, the constituency that is right at the Aflao-Lome border. How can Ketu South register 73.7% of residents there when the same region in Kwanta South registered 42%? Some may say that some Ghanaian citizens live across the border in Lome and come home to register. If that is even true, then let's look at the other border constituencies such as Doma East. It is the highest in the Bunu region, but they've only registered 54.8% of their population, which is close to the regional average. In Northern Region Bali, a border constituency has registered 53.3% of their population, which is lower than the national average of 54.2%. In Upper East, the highest is 60.5%, and Upper West has Sisala at 52.1% registered voters. Let's face it, this current register is flawed on all fronts, and the fact that it has been successfully used for the 2016 election does not mean we should continue to use a faulty register. When you look at every reason the NDC has to oppose this new voters register and the new biometric verification machines, BVMs, you wonder why they would rather hold on to an old archaic dinosaur instead of a new voters register that will deliver credible elections. Please visit our social media handles and like our pages: Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, all at Truth in Politics GH. You may also send us information at truthinpoliticsgh@gmail.com. My name is Lady Just, and this has been Truth in Politics.